about time I actually made a bloody video about this beautiful looking guitar. I'm sure you can guess by the title, this is a custom made guitar made by myself and my dad. DIY, modelled on a Gibson Les Paul Double-Cutaway. Didn't quite turn out like that, so I'm going to talk about the build process and basically a few things that went wrong, a few things that went right, and give you a few tips if you ever think about doing this yourself. So yeah, the body was made of 3 pieces of plywood, so not ideal for a guitar, but you know, not bad for a first attempt. Makes the guitar almost too light. The body's lighter than the neck, which is a bit of an issue for playability, but it was also quite useful in the construction, having 3 layers, so you could have your wiring on one part, cutouts, and then pickups and stuff on the top. I wanted to get a Gibson style neck, and unfortunately the only thing I could order and bring into New Zealand at the time was a Fender sort of maple style neck, but I think it makes sort of an interesting guitar. It did lead to one issue, in that the neck is built for being a bolt-on neck instead of a set neck, and so obviously that kind of caused us to change the shape, and so you can see, or you will see, that it's got a bit of a cutaway just so the neck is actually set into the body a little bit, and you can actually get the playability on those higher frets. Yeah, so I'm sure you worked out something didn't quite sound right there. So I knew about different neck scale lengths, but I didn't really think about this in the build process. So a Fender neck is typically different to a Gibson neck in terms of scale length, and so I stuck with Gibson proportions in the body, using a Fender scale length for the neck. And so this means that the body isn't actually, the body and the neck aren't proportioned to have the right frequencies when the strings ring, and so the 12th fret isn't perfectly itonated with, you know, the open string, which is a bit of an issue when you're trying to play properly. So essentially what I need to do now is I need to move the bridge and the tailpiece. I think it's about a centimetre further down, and so the 12th fret is right halfway between the nut and the tailpiece. So in New Zealand dollars, it's probably about maybe $300. I can't remember the exact amount to build. For that price, it's not a terrible guitar. You know, the pickups actually sound decent. When I plugged it into GarageBand to actually record this, I was kind of like, wow, I forgot how good it sounds. I typically don't play it too much just because of the issue with the scale length and the intonation, how you say it, someone tell me, which makes it a little bit difficult to play and just a little bit annoying. But yeah, it's not a bad guitar. It feels nice for, you know, the fact it's homemade, and you know how inexpensive it was to build, basically. So those of you who do sort of understand guitars and are interested in this, it's not a bad alternative to actually buying a cheap guitar. So the body was just done with spray paint, to be honest. I did a couple of coats, just let it dry, and probably didn't actually let it dry long enough to get the coat firmly on there, because it does have a few sort of rough patches on there. But at the end of the day, I'm not too concerned about that. So yeah, basically everything you see was bought off Amazon, apart from the plywood for the body and the pickguard, which was custom made. Sorry, I know I'm terrible side guitar, but I do have the action actually quite high on this guitar, and I typically have it in an open tuning just so I can pick it up and doodle around with a bit of slide guitar for a bit of fun. But yeah, overall for my first attempt at building a guitar, I think it went alright. You know, it wasn't perfect, but I wouldn't expect it to be. It's a really good experience for anyone that plays guitar to actually understand how it works and you probably will make mistakes, but you'll learn from them, and then you'll actually understand the instrument a lot better. So yeah, if any of you are interested in doing it, I highly recommend it. It's a really fun experience. You can do whatever you want with it basically, and at the end of the day, you'll have gained all these skills, and you'll have gained so much more of an understanding and appreciation of what the big manufacturers do and how the instrument actually works. And yeah, so just some final take-home messages. Think about your scale length, and think about the neck type you're going for if you want to bolt on or if you want to slot in. Because yeah, you don't want to mess it up like me and have mess up scale length, and you don't want to have to be putting in extra cutaways if you don't have to. But yeah, cheers for watching, and I might see you if I decide to make another video at any point.